So welcome to the first in what we hope to be an ongoing series of short horror films spotlights. And what did we find for you this time? Well, stay tuned to find out. Welcome to the first in what should be a long line of specials where we spotlight short horror films. We support horror, obviously, and all horror, and we definitely have got a nice selection of short films that definitely deserve a spotlight.
Yeah, we actually picked 7 different films in 5 categories.
Does that math add up exactly on that one?
There were some categories that we not necessarily disagreed,
No,
but we
not
had
in the least bit. No.
short films that kind of affected us differently, so we decided to both pick a movie instead of just agreeing on one.
They definitely both deserved recognition in that category. No reason to elbow one out.
Yeah, and they do cover a number of different, I guess, genres and themes with horror, and now of course we don't cover everything.
No, I mean, just like feature films, shorts run the gamut of every, possible horror genre you can imagine. And so, as I said earlier, hopefully you were paying attention, this is just the first one. In subsequent editions, we will have different categories, different genres, if you will. One of the categories that we're particularly proud of this time, though, and one that you're going to want to stick around and watch for, is the short film that we feel is most deserving of being turned into a feature-length film.
Yes, and that's actually where a number of very popular, well-known horror movies come from, is short films.
Yeah.
The idea is somewhere, gets turned into a feature-length film, and a lot of people don't know there were shorts first. But yes, I think that's a very important category.
Without question, a lot of the filmmakers, it's their goal. That's why they're making them. I'm not saying all. You can certainly do this for the love of the genre, and I have no problem with that. We spotlighted several of those. But for the filmmakers that are out there busting their hump, putting their blood, their sweat, their tears, their money, they want to get picked up. And we have found something that we think is definitely fitting that bill. We don't want to take away from the other, though. The other 4 categories are equally important, but definitely stick around for that one.
The first category we decided to pick a short for is Best Acting, and this one we actually decided unanimously. It was actually an extremely easy pick.
Yes.
And it's called Deep Six.
Right, yeah, it's a film from Scott and Kevin McNamara, and basically involves a father waking up a daughter.
Get up, get something on your feet now.
Hey, I didn't even get any sleep last night.
Listen, we're leaving this house in 1 minute.
Because the zombie apocalypse has happened.
Yeah, and I do say often that I'm not the biggest, zombie plotline fan.
Right.
But this, from the get-go, is tense and action and scary, and there is no backstory of everyone being happy before the apocalypse. But probably the greatest thing was there is no cheesy overacting or monotone underacting. They really, really captured that terrified, end of the world, what are we going to do feeling from second one.
We can't leave that, Jessica!
Yes, without question, and followed it through when shit really went bad. They were genuinely terrified. Genuinely, they brought you in, they empathized, and this was top to bottom. And I know a couple of the girls had larger roles, but even just a small thing like the father at the beginning waking him up, absolutely wonderful job. And honestly, like we said at the beginning, we watched a lot of short films, and honestly, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. There's a lot of bad acting in a lot of short films. And this wasn't just that it was better than those. This was on par with any acting that you would see on any Hollywood production anywhere. Obviously our kudos to all the actors and actresses involved with this. There were quite a few of them, so there's no way we'd be able to memorize all their names. Their credits are going to be listed later on. But yeah, definitely this, like we said, no question, unanimous agreement, best acting, Deep Six.
Our second category is actually best twist ending, which is pretty surprising for us.
Yeah.
And you may be wondering, but wait, how do you have a twist ending in a 3-minute short? Apparently you can.
Yeah, without question.
And do
you
it well.
Can. Yes, do it very, very well. Yeah, this actually is writer-director Alex Forbes' entry, I Dream of Zombies, your favorite.
Yep.
Zombies, yes. Realize it's 2 zombies in a row, but bear with us. It actually stars Joseph Atkin of Game of Thrones fame. As a young man who, well, dreams of zombies.
Yeah.
And dreams of killing zombies, actually.
And if it sounds boring, you know what? It was really boring to me. Kind of rolled my eyes on it. I didn't really want to watch it. But there is a twist.
Yes.
So you have to stick through the whole thing, and it's worth it. You have to just believe me, because I almost didn't want to watch it.
Yes, well, I did, and one of the things that I found also particularly compelling about this is we don't really see a lot of this in a lot of the quote-unquote serious zombie movies.
Yes.
That there's someone that is actually looking forward to the zombie apocalypse.
And prepared.
Not as a joke, not as a bumper sticker, but as someone who is preparing, has weapons, has ideas, is eagerly
Riot gear.
Riot gear. Everything. I think that's a really great idea, especially for a short, like you said, and like this category is. There's a nice, wonderful twist in it, but even without that, it still is a great idea and something I've been looking for in a while. We look at our selections for scariest short.
Ooh.
Yeah. This is one of those where we felt that there were 2
Doubleheader for
that
you.
deserved recognition. I'm starting off with Ryan Thompson's Playtime, and yes, this actually was it really kind of took me off guard. It was surprising to me because it was insanely simple.
It was.
It has been done a million times. I'm not gonna say it hasn't, but done so well. So well.
The camera work really impressed me with that one.
Camera work, yes, the lighting. Their use of light was absolutely spectacular. The actress was terrified throughout the whole thing. Again, it shows that even though, horror films often get accused of being the same thing over and over again and in a rut, it's what you do with the material. And what he did with the material was make it very scary, hence inclusion in this category. Without question, flip the lights off, sit back, and prepare to be scared.
Yeah.
So.
For me, it was completely different.
Okay.
Yes, it was a short film called Clickbait.
Oh, actually, another good one. Okay.
Yes, and this one, for me, special recognition.
Yeah.
Been watching horror for probably 18 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the only thing I have ever shut off because I was too scared.
Wow.
Too scared. We'll set this up. I was sitting alone in my apartment one night, thinking to myself, surfing the internet, I'm like, wow, I really need to watch some of those shorts.
Told you we watched at lunch.
Yeah. You had a whole chart of names and links and everything. I'm like, let me stop, fooling around on the internet.
The fuck?
Yeah, get back to the work I'm supposed to be doing.
For a change.
Yeah. And I went to Clickbait. And if you do watch it, there's a girl sitting alone in her apartment surfing the internet.
I see where this is going.
Honestly, it's embarrassing to admit, before anything ever happened, I hit the pause button and turned it off. I did not want to know what was going to happen.
Okay.
I had the same blinds against my patio door as she did. I was like, nothing good can come of this.
No.
So I shut it off and I watched it the next day in the daylight.
Okay.
When I was not at home, because I couldn't watch it.
Wow. Okay.
Now, some people will probably see this and think I'm a complete wussy and it wasn't scary and it was stupid. But for me, to see that short, I was in that environment that the girl in the short was in.
Yes.
And that is terrifying.
Yeah.
So concept perhaps done to death. There's a couple internet-based even horror movies from the the late 2000s, 2010s. However, when you're sitting there, it was very scary.
Yeah.
So that was my entry into that.
And I'll add that of course I watched Clickbait as well. It was on our list. I wasn't in the same situation you were, and it still was scary. So definitely worth a look.
The next category is probably the most obvious, perhaps, or least obvious category, since it could go a lot of different ways. But it is the most original. And a lot of things that really define that, especially in horror, where a lot of things unfortunately do get recycled all the time. Yes, and I was even going to say, I know you're a very big stickler for original. So what was your favorite?
Well, when the number of horror movies you've seen is fast approaching the 5-digit mark, originality is tough to come by. And we did watch a lot of shorts. We already said that. We said it again and again. A lot of them all meshed into one. One film did stand out, though, as original to me, and that was a film called Call Girl. Now, what I've seen a lot, not just in shorts, but even in feature lengths in this modern times, quote unquote, is this incessant combining or utilizing, attempting is a more accurate description, to include social media,
Badly.
Yeah, it's always badly, but this film utilized it in a really, really good. It's not really social media, but it kind of goes along with that.
A little bit, I think.
Yeah, a little bit. The basic premise that a not very attractive gentleman, in fact, the lead from Human Centipede 2, so everyone knows we're not talking an attractive guy, hires a call girl. Hey, the name of the short.
It's $200. They told you that, right?
Yeah, I suppose.
To come over, but he has a webcam set up
Prior to her getting there.
Can you hear me?
To record the encounter, and I thought that was a very good and very clever use of the interaction between the modern technology and film, and then. Really to not give away anything, because it is original. It's not just that idea, but then what actually happens in the short, I thought was very original. It kind of turned a few things on its head.
Yeah,
not just one.
It wasn't my pick, but while watching it, I know what's going on. Oh wait, oh, I know what's going on. Oh wait, and you really don't get an idea for what's going on, like you said.
No, and it's not just a single twist ending. No, they've seen those. So yeah, definitely gets my nod for most original. You had a different but equally good idea.
And some people might disagree with me on this. However, just bear with me through my explanation.
Okay.
But Saw.
The original.
Yeah, the original.
Okay.
Saw started as a short film in 2003. It was, we all know them now, James Wan and Leigh Whannell. And there was a world before Saw and before those movies, and it is hard to remember at this point.
Yes.
And when Saw came out, I was actually in high school, so it was definitely gigantic when it came out.
Yes.
So, but again, world before Saw, there was a point where that idea didn't exist yet, and they came up with it. And there's a reason it blew up. It actually, the budget they got and how much money the movie made was 100 times more their budget.
Yeah.
So they really, really got into something brilliant. And when I saw the short, it was almost nothing like the first film, which was interesting.
Not really, no, yeah.
But it's a concept they did include in the movie.
Yes.
But again, this was 2003. This was 13 years ago. So I thought actually being able to see the short, which I hadn't previously seen, I've seen all the rest of the movies, but I hadn't seen the true beginning of it, was really eye-opening to see what their original thought process was that went into this franchise.
Yeah, and I know up to this point we've been using short films that may not be generally known to the public, but at no point did we say this was limited to this. That was an excellent choice on your part, because yes, indeed, that short was very original, obviously, like you said, original enough to get a full-length feature film made out of it, and definitely deserves to be here.
And really a whole new kind of part of horror, because
Yeah.
now if a movie comes out like that, they call it a Saw
precisely.
movie.
Yeah.
So they really, really got something fresh and new 13 years ago, and if you have not seen it, really go watch it. It's really interesting to see the original idea.
Right, and speaking of being made into a feature-length film, that brings us up to our next and final category. So our big final category, the short that we feel most deserves to be made into a feature-length film. It is one that we absolutely unanimously agreed
Yes.
on. There was no questions, no doubt. It is Richard Powell's Air. And I know exactly what I feel about it, but I want to hear what you have to say.
Okay, well, I will speak for both of us for just a minute. But
You will.
I will.
Double check that. Hold on. Go ahead.
It kind of touches upon one of our favorite themes in horror for both of us. It's the horror within.
Yeah, okay, agreed.
Yes. So I knew what I was talking about.
All right.
For me, when I saw it, so I do watch a lot of courtroom drama, crime stuff as well, Law and Order, SVU all day long, and you do see a lot of child abuse and pedophilia things all over
The
the
ratings
place.
grabber.
Yeah, all over courtroom lawyer type stuff.
Sure.
But you don't really see it in horror movies, honestly, that often. No, not really.
No,
It's usually more capturing women and putting them in basements.
Right, yes.
More than kids.
Yes. Not even kid women.
No. So this one, really brought those two things together. So that also kind of interested me from the beginning, because I wasn't sure what direction it was going to go in. But unlike the courtroom dramas that I was talking about, this is still horror.
Yes.
And it really deals with the turmoil of the mind and what's going on and how this can affect people in really interesting, new, different ways that you don't really expect going into it. Well, I don't want to say too much because I don't want to give away too much either.
No.
But even really the whole thing, aside from the plot, aside from what was going on, if it had kept going past the 13 or 15 minutes and it was a movie, I would have believed it.
Yes.
It looked beautiful. It looked perfect. It looked like a fully done movie.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it was just short.
No, without question. Everything on the technical side, I suppose,
Yeah.
was top shelf. Acting superior, cinematography superior, editing superior, sound, the whole 9 yards. But what really kind of, I guess, maybe put it over the top for me as something that would deserve a feature-length movie is that there was and you kind of touched on it, there was enough material that I could have started this 6 months, a year in the past. Sort of start to find out exactly how this internet communication started, how this father and his son got into this situation.
And clearly the father had been into that
something,
stuff
yes,
before.
exactly, and how creepy that is just by itself. I mean, they don't have to be sympathetic. Obviously, we're not saying the pedophile is sympathetic, but
But who played the pedophile though?
Well,
Oh my God! Did he make my skin crawl?
So you're Paul. Dad told me all about you.
He was
Ooh.
masterfully acted.
Ooh.
Yes. I mean, this is actually one of those movies where another reason that, again, we're suggesting this is if you did make a full-length feature movie, you could use the same actors.
Yeah.
I think not almost, but every short film that has been made into a feature-length film, they use different people. And we'll get into that. This one, no need. They were absolutely perfect in their roles. And there's a lot of great material. Like you said, we've got the horror within that we absolutely love. There's some body horror going on as well. The pacing, the atmosphere is very tense, very intense.
Yes.
It really has everything. There was no hesitation on either one of ours part. Without question, Air is the short that we feel is most deserving to be made into a full-length feature film.
brings our special to a close, and we do want to thank everyone, all the directors, producers, creators, everyone involved.
Yes.
We love your minds. Thank you for doing all of this, keeping horror going, keeping horror interesting.
Yes.
Very important. So thank you for everything that you've done.
Yes, without question. Absolutely wonderful. And please, everyone watching this, we have links to those videos in the description.
Yes.
Check them out in the entirety. We said it before, but it's worth mentioning again. It's definitely worth your while. You're definitely going to get a kick out of them just like we did. And then come back and join us next time for another edition of Shorts to Horrify You. All right, well, we had a blast at our short film festival. Hopefully you did as well. If so, please let us know in the comment section below.
And also, we have all of our links to social media right up top. Don't forget to follow us there. And also subscribe to our channel, because not only do we support horror, and you should too.
Yes.
This way we can keep bringing you those specials.
Yes, especially Volume 2.